team names before we go.
We'll do that in a second. Okay. We're playing. Sorry, I made you on. Look, everything the light sees, I see.
For this year's 15th anniversary, Breakthrough wanted to create a unique work of art to celebrate all that God had done over the last 15 years. We were struck by the scriptures in the Pentateuch where God proclaimed festivals and feasts for his people to, on a regular basis, bring in their tithes and offerings. These were to be times of reflection and remembrance, times when people would look back on all that God had done and where he had brought them from. And so wheat for us became the symbol that we based our parable on. We created a story that would not only represent what Jesus had done with his death and resurrection so many years ago, but what he continues to do in our guests, our staff, volunteers, and donors as we pursue his ministry here in the city.
You know, I had started doing some work with a friend about identifying values as an art maker and learning to make decisions and choices of the kind of work that I make as a reflection of my personal core values. And when there's a bunch of things about the ministry that are really interesting to me. The personalities of the community of people deeply engaged in it that I've met so far are just really disciplined, generous people, and the idea of the shadow show in that space with the gospel singers really all added up to this is very much, though I may not share specific components of this particular faith, I absolutely share the values of the population.
When I first read the piece, I was really struck by the really allegorical imagery, that it wasn't like very straightforward at all, and that it had so much to do with nature and the world, and those are things that I love to draw, like organic things.
And this may seem really simple, but it's really important to me, is the glass paint on the acetate creating the quality of stained glass window was the biggest artistic leap that the project, the biggest artistic surprise in the project for me.
I am really excited to get the opportunity to really work on a project where I'm really just drawing. It's something I haven't really been able to do for a long time, and to really craft a story purely through drawing on a page. I mean, one thing that's a little bit different about this medium than just like purely drawing illustrations is that you want them all to come to life in some way. So they're not just drawings that sit there. They have little small motions that are meant to kind of enchant the viewer while they're watching them.
There are 3 people, one for each box, and then there's one person who floats in front of our table. And so the 4 of us together put one image on the projector and then fade it into the next image. And we do that for a succession of images to tell the whole story.
I would say for me, the aha moments were the discovery of, and this may seem really simple, but it's really important to me, is the glass paint on the acetate creating the quality of stained glass window was the biggest artistic leap that the project, the biggest artistic surprise in the project for me, because I've historically worked with black and white or a different type of color, and we were trying to get to a sepia tone color to create a quality of an old photographs, and we were failing repeatedly. We just couldn't nail it, and it was getting a little concerning and frustrating simultaneously. And I asked Tracy to start working with materials that were exciting to her, and she started working with glass paint. It started to fracture and crack and expand and do all these things that as artists we were really excited about, because we realized that we were now creating these 20 by 20 foot shadow projections, full color, that were like, Hollywood cinema pictures.